Trevor Jackson Podcast.
You know, I was watching this podcast with Cam Newton and Nuri Muhammad, and I started thinking about my path in life. And when I started watching YouTube, I originally started watching YouTube because of Minister Louis Farrakhan and the things that he was saying and preaching and teaching and the positivity that he was spewing on YouTube. A lot of his content was on YouTube because they had removed him from a lot of public and a lot of government funded platforms, so he couldn't speak. He had been counseled. He probably was the first person to be counseled, and he was counseled for speaking things that people thought was erratic. They thought it was a little aggressive. They pursued him in a way that I felt was unjust. And I'm not a religious man or anything, but I kind of appreciate when a black man is speaking the truth and he's speaking, in a way that is uplifting his community. If you ain't uplifting your community, then what you doing, big dog? My fault if y'all heard the paper, but that's my notes. I took three things and I created three clips around this 3.5 hour podcast with Cam Newton and Nuri Muhammad, because I think he's next in line after Minister Louis Farrakhan passes away. Not wishing that happened anytime soon, but the Nation of Islam has to be prepared for that, and they should have been prepared for that 20 years ago, because life, you never know when it's your time to go. It's people that's 2-3 years old that pass away. So Minister Louis Farrakhan lived a long life. He's in his 90s now. So they have to be dealing with preparation for him to pass away. But I want to speak about something before I play this clip, because a lot of people value words more than they value actions in these times that we're living in. But Nuri Muhammad had something to say about that, and I want y'all to check it out.
True Muslim. And a true Muslim is a true Christian. The minister said that religion is not what you preach, it's what you practice. So there's a story that Jesus tells when he's arguing with the Pharisees, Sadducees about religious context, and they're considering him to be someone changing the law. He said, no, I am not changing, I'm fulfilling it. But he tells them a story about a father that had two sons. And one son said, I will do my father's will when my father is absent. And when his father left, he didn't do the will. The other one said, I'm not going to do my father's will. But when his father left, he did do the will. And Jesus asked them the question, which one did the will of the Father? It's the one that didn't say it, but actually did it. So unfortunately, most of the time, people are spiritual set tripping and engaged in religious gangbanging. They look down on the vice lords, the GDs, the four corner hustlers, the Crips and the Bloods, but then you get inside of religion and do the same thing. So,
to me, that was a powerful statement, because I'm a man that watches my words and I try to control my actions, because, your words are powerful. You don't want to speak things over your life. And when he was talking about that passage that was written down in the Bible, I started thinking over my life and started thinking about, how powerful that was when Nuri spoke. And that's how leaders speak, because, even looking at the YouTube platform and the way YouTube is going, you got a lot of people that's speaking as if they're leaders. But in real life, that's all cap, dog. You can see through their actions. Are they growing? Are they monetizing race? Most of these individuals that's on these platforms are just monetizing race. They don't have any substance to what they're talking about. So, your words are powerful, but your actions are even more powerful. What are you doing in real life besides being on this platform, monetizing whatever you think your base wants to hear from you? What are you doing out on the outside world, real talk, man? Because that's what matters, man. It's a lot of people in this world that doesn't even pay attention to what's going on social media and on podcast platforms and on people's lives and all of that. It's people that have real lives out here. Are y'all considerate about those individuals? Let's get into the next clip.
I was a sheriff for 30 years. And I'm going to tell you something, brother. Guns have spirits. Not literally.
Right.
But I said, what do you mean? He said, I always carried a weapon because that was my profession, whether I was on duty or off duty. He said, one day I was at a bar and I had my side piece posted, and a brother walked past and bumped into me. And I thought I looked up, I thought he was going to say, excuse me. And he looked at me like, what? And I found myself reaching for my gun. And if it wasn't for the fact, he said, that the gun, when he stood up, had fell down his pants leg, he probably, out of reflex, would have shot his brother over just bumping into him. So we know that the stats say that 95% of all black men that are killed by another black man that either knew them or loved them at some point. So we are dying from friendly fire. And right now, Brother Cam, did you know that there's more black males born than there are black females? But by the time the two reach the age 18, black females are outnumbering black males 7-1. When you calculate incarceration and homicide, 7 black women for every 1 black man, yet more black males were born. All of this is happening because we don't know how to reach up into our mind for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We're reaching down for a weapon.
You know, I don't know how accurate those statistics are, but if those statistics are accurate, you know, capitalism and slavery won, man. It won. It overtook the struggle and the black existence. It overtook it, to me, because if 90% of people are dying by friendly fire from people that they loved and they grew up with and they went to school with and they was in their own neighborhoods with, even though all races do that. But at the end of the day, we only 13% of this country. We need to be standing together more than we need to be violently reacting to each other, you know, because there's other races that's violently reacting to us. It's like, where can a black man go to get some peace, especially a peaceful one? And what's crazy, those statistics that he spoke of also said that more black men are being birthed than black women. But black women are thriving and they are, you know, living longer than us. When you think about Atlanta, Charlotte, DC, Memphis, it's 20 women to 1. But it's more men being birthed than women. Is an interesting statistic from Nuri Muhammad. Because that means that we are reacting and hindering and killing and doing things to our own people. And we think that it's less men than women when most of us are in a casket or incarcerated. A crazy statistics. And I want to speak on what he was talking about guns have spirits before I go. You know, I'm for gun rights and people having gun rights and being able to have their own weapon. But I hate guns, man. I hate the creation of it. I just can't stand it. I feel like it's a weapon that makes people have a misconception of the power that they really have when they really don't have no power. The gun has the power. The attempt of taking a life has the power. Guns are needed for protection, but most of the time, and it's a high percentage of a time, that they ain't even used for protection. They used to create a sense of fear in an individual so you can be able to take something or get something out of a person without really even being mentally strong. Guns have spirits, and I hate them. I hate them to death. I own a few, and I own a few that's serious, dead serious. And the only reason I do is because I have to protect people that I love. And I'll risk my life to protect the people that I love. Real talk. We're going to get into this last part. I only put 3 clips up. I want to know what y'all thoughts is about, you know what I mean, Nuri Muhammad in the comment section also, and the things that he said that I played on this episode. And I suggest that y'all go watch the Cam Newton podcast with Nuri Muhammad. A lot of people was trying to get Cam Newton out of here because of the conversations he was having with females and the way he was conducting himself in certain interviews and things, though. But I feel like Cam Newton has a platform with substance on it. Real talk. Big salute, man.
From America, was an athlete, played professional ball.
Right.
You know the lifestyle that goes with professional ball. So he's used to that lifestyle. Yeah. He goes over there. I'm on a plane with him. He
And
said,
he got a nub?
No, but look, this is what he
geez.
said to me. Look what he said. He said, man, I'm gonna tell you something. He said, listen to me. You know how I was here? He said, I didn't even think a lustful thought over there. He said, I never even thought about doing wrong over there. I said, you serious? He said, never even thought about it. He said, brother, it's something special about y'all environment that, I didn't even think about doing nothing wrong. So, the minister said this, environment is stronger than heredity. And there's nothing that you can learn that's a habit that's stronger than heredity. Your genetic makeup, your DNA, environment has the ability to either arrest it, that's why they call it arrested development, or it can enhance it. So we are people, we are direct descendants of the originator of the heavens and the earth. We are born, created in the image and the likeness of God. That means that every time God looks at us, he sees himself. Our problem is when we look at ourselves, we don't see God. If we're in the image and likeness of God, everything that's true about God is true about us. We got God's genetic makeup, holy heredity, divine DNA, that's in us. But we live in a America where everything that God said thou shalt not do is promoted and permitted. So the environment that we live in, we're righteous by nature, but we become other than that by circumstance.
I shouldn't even say nothing. I shouldn't even have a response to that, man. I should just tell y'all to go check out the interview. But everything in the West is being promoted and permitted and being programmed in your mind is as accessible. It's sick, dog. That's powerful, man. That's so powerful it don't make no sense, man. He said environment is more important than heredity. I'm a person that always try to change generational curses in his family. I'm a person that wants to break the curse, break, the lifestyle, or remove myself. And it was one point in time where I probably was the first street hustler in my family, and I was the last street hustler in my family because I didn't want it to continue on. The reason I say that is because whatever you're doing right now in life, big dog, if you don't stop and make it better, you're going to mislead somebody and it's going to continue on. And whatever's good about you, you want to set the example in that area. And you want that to continue on, the positive, the uplifting part, not the streets, not the negative stuff, man. You don't want that to continue on because that's foul. And in that clip, he was talking about, taking a brother with him that was an athlete to the East, to a different environment. One thing I want to say about the power of environment is that the people that I listen to the most are people that are well-traveled and well-read because they have experiences. They say if you want to keep anything from a black man, put it in a book. If you want to hinder a person, then don't let them travel. Don't let them be able to get enough money to where they can see the world. Because if they can see the world, they can change their mind. And if you change your thoughts, you can change your reality. Go check out that, man. I'm going to leave the link in the description for Cam Newton and Nuri Muhammad's conversation. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to my show. I appreciate y'all to subscribing to my show. Peace, love, plenty, abundance. Make sure you go get you some money and I'm gone. Gia.
the Trevor Jackson Podcast.